Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Planescape Torment. Alright, we're back in the mortuary, just kind of puttering around, checking some things out. So let's go ahead and see if we can talk to Dayanara again.
My love, you have returned to me. Can it be that your memories have returned?
Not yet. Farewell, Dayanara. Wow, that's... I mean, some memories have returned, or at least we've regained some of the information. Once again, Dayanara materializes. This time, her face is filled with desperation, and her arms are outstretched as if she's reaching for something. As she fades in, the desperation in her face changes to relief. I had some questions for you. Wow, no.
I shall wait for you in death's halls, my love.
She smiles, but there is only sadness in it. She closes her eyes, and with an ethereal whisper, she fades. Well, okay. I was actually kind of expecting a little bit more. Okay, I can get out that way still. Good. Let's see if I can actually talk to you just outright. Use your story's bones tell ability on the corpse. Corpse reels for a moment as the spirit revisits its one-time home. Its almond-shaped eyes become dark once more, a faint bronze cast creeping over the pale flesh. It straightens itself, brushing the dust off of its clothes. At last, noticing its caller, the ghost peers at you for a moment with curious eyes and bows slightly. A bow in return. The spirit smiles for a moment as if pleased. He composes himself, standing with one hand behind him as he begins to speak in a soft, lilting tone. Oh, I'm not even going to try that. That being said, he appears content to stand and wait patiently for your reply. Yeah, I have no idea what you're saying. Can you understand my words at all? Spirit pauses for a moment as if to think. He then begins to speak again in a thickly accented yet deeply refined voice. You must forgive me, honorable sir. It has been no small length of time since I have had to speak your language. No doubt my spirit has been summoned here to answer your questions. What is it you wish to know of me? Alright. So, I guess we can go run around and talk to all the zombies here. Let's see. Who are you? Who I am is a difficult question to answer. Who I was is not. I was known as Xang Be, tutor and bodyguard of Liu Jiji, daughter of Censor Qian. Tutor and bodyguard? Yes, it is not so uncommon where I hail from. It was my duty to stay by Miss Liu at all times. And I apologize to anyone who's Chinese, whose names I'm butchering in this way. Although these could also be fake Chinese names, I don't know. Not only to keep her from harm, but to educate her. I was regarded as a scholar of some repute, as well as a swordsman, you see. Perhaps I would have served her better were I a better swordsman, though. Served her better? Did you fail her somehow? I will tell you the entire tale. Oh, wait, no, wait, can you give me Cliff Notes, please? Cliff Notes? As a tutor and bodyguard of Liu Jiji, I am, of course, charged with both her education and defense. One fair evening, we were standing on a balcony over the courtyard where I was teaching her about the various constellations. And unfortunately, someone apparently sawed through the balcony, and we both fell over. Please, go on. Of course, as we stood there, two assassins suddenly burst down from the rooftop to the balcony, most likely there to slay or kidnap Miss Liu. Shouting for the guards, I drew my blade and leapt to her defense. In the ensuing battle, the balcony's railing was shattered, and the four of us fell into the Jade Portal. The what? Jade Portal. Oh, pardon my assumption on my part. The Jade Portal is a circular pool that lies in the courtyard, paved with tiles of green and white soapstone. It is called the Portal because it is said at times glimpses of another place appear reflected in its shimmering waters. I see. Please continue your story. As I was saying, we fell into the Jade Portal. I've never imagined it actually was a portal in any sense of the word, but surely enough it was. I suddenly found myself lying in an unfamiliar alleyway, my leg broken. I reoriented myself only in time to see the assassins fleeing. Liu Zhiji tossed over one of their shoulders. Strange indeed. Go on, please. Well, that is mostly all. I limped about painfully until I found someone to heal my leg. They took what little coin I had as payment. I'm not entirely sure that you would be able to limp with a broken leg. From that healer and others, I learned the tongue of the people here, all the while scouring the place for the 2 assassins in my charge. You know, it's odd how quickly you were able to pick up the language. Oh, I want to see what they say about this. Linguistics, in fact, is an area of great interest to me. When I became a scholar, I found I could learn new tongues with little trouble at all. So, canonically, the common tongue of the Outer Planes is mutually intelligible with all other common tongues. You know, for ease of gameplay, really. That would explain things. So, you never found the assassins? I hunted down one of them, but he would not speak. I executed him and kept his head in a silk bag so that I could bring it back for the censor when I returned his daughter to him. He frowns for a moment before he continues. The other assassin eluded me. He did more than that, in fact. He slew me before I could kill him and rescue my charge. Sad, but it is all behind me now. Would you have known how to return to your land had you rescued this Gigi? No, but I am confident I would have found a way. A moot point now, really. I wonder if they are still in the city. Perhaps I could find and help this girl. Certainly seems easy for you to just not care about your duties because you're dead. I don't know if I could just let something like that go. Both of these seem pretty good. I wonder if they're still in the city. Your offer marks you as a noble man. However, no less than 75 years have passed since I was slain. The man who assassinated me is long dead by now, and most likely Gigi as well. No matter then. I had another question. Where are you from? I was from okay. I was from a place called Shaolong, a place I once regarded as the center of the universe. He seems to find mild amusement at the thought. So many places, so many worlds. I once considered myself a truly learned man, yet truly knew so little when I died. Did you ever take a dragon ship and fly about realm space? Just out of curiosity. How did you arrive from this Shaolong? Okay, perhaps I'll... Oh, whoop. Nope. A question. How did you end up here, as a zombie, I mean? I was murdered by one of the men I fell into this world with. I had been hunting him in this city for many, many weeks. It was during this time that I learned your language, but he found me first. A professional assassin. He caught me unawares and slew me as I slept. I see, but do you know how your corpse came to be working here? That. I was approached one night by a young woman on the street. She was from an organization called the Dustmen, the same that oversees this complex. She proposed to me that in return for a small sum of money that my corpse could be used here upon my demise. And that didn't seem a bit odd to you? Perhaps at first. The idea is a bit macabre after all. But after speaking with her for some time, I realized that they, the Dustmen, feel much the same way I do regarding death. My body a vehicle only, nothing more. Believe their true death to be the exalted state that I personally seek to attain. Total release and detachment from the material world. Should my corpse, having served its purpose as my mortal shell, manage to serve some purpose here, so much the better. The spirit smiles at you politely. See, another question. What was that you spoke when you first appeared? Oh, that. It was a poem. Difficult to translate. Do you have another question, perhaps? No, but I think I'd like to know more about this poem. Very well, he thinks for a moment, tapping the ends of the corpse's long, bony fingers together. Soon he begins to speak once more in a steady, measured rhythm. It is difficult to meet, as it is difficult to part. The north wind is weakened, hundreds of flowers fade away. When the spring worms die, the silk shall never come again. When the candle wax becomes ash, tears shall stop. He smiles at you politely. Okay, I had another question. What do you know of this place? This building? Nothing at all. I had heard of it and knew my corpse was to serve here, but that is all. I knew almost as little about the great city Sigil. My weeks here had been spent searching for the man I fell into this world with and learning the language. Though it pained me, I had time for little else. I could have learned so much from the myriad wonders of such a place. Okay, I had some other questions. Where are you? Where your spirit resides now? The spirit seems pained for a moment. My spirit resides in the realm of the illustrious magistrate, Yen Wang Ye, Palace of Judgment. Is something wrong? Is it such a bad place? Well, you see, the spirit stops for a moment to think, rubbing the corpse's withered hands together. When I arrived, after a short period of waiting, I was to be ushered to my final true destination. However, there was some sort of commotion during my escort through the palace, and I was left alone in a side room with the promise that I would be attended to after a moment. And? Well, you see, no one ever returned for me. I waited quietly for what seemed like days, but it was to no avail. I eventually left the room to wander the palace, hoping to find someone to direct me. He smiles. He sighs softly, the faint scent of embalming fluid carrying his exhalation. There are 9,001 rooms here. In each one I have passed through I was merely directed to another. I seem to have fallen between the cracks for the time being. Anything I could do to help? Your offer is too kind. I am afraid, however, that there is nothing you can do. I am sure that in time I will be sped on my way. Again, though, thank you. Of course. Let's go back through this. Final destination, where were you to be sent? I couldn't say. It is all so very frustrating. He pauses for a moment to regain his composure, the stiffened joints and tendons of the cadaver creaking softly as they relax once more. Please continue your tale. Well, you see, no one ever returned for me. I waited quietly. Okay, that's the same thing. Poor fool. I wonder how long they'll let you wander. The spirit stares at you coldly, ghost lights burning deep within the corpse's eyes. You seem to have offended him. My apologies. Alright, never mind. Farewell. What am I still doing here? I am talking to your corpses, sir. Something that you never do. This corpse makes no reply. It looks like it is too far gone to answer any of your questions. Okay. Hello? Use your stories, bones tell. What? The zombie awkwardly getting his voice back, and he sounds alarmed. Who's there? Answer me! Improvise. It is I. Do you not recognize my voice? It sounds familiar, but if you are who I think you are, then who? The zombie becomes silent for a moment. Who am I? Your name is not known to me. If I may return if I can find it. Farewell. Oh. Can you not see me? Blind I am in death as I was in life. Now answer me. Who are you? Who are you? The zombie becomes silent. My name has fled me. I can no longer remember who I am. Oh. Okay, maybe we'll find his name then. I mean, I read the book. You know, like that book that we had a while back and some other information. Alright, that one is too far gone. Alright, let's go upstairs. So we're looking for 331.
Done.
I suppose I could go back and find the book. You're not actually dead. Okay, too far gone.
Say, Anna, does that tail go all the way up?
Uh-oh.
Oh, aye. Up your bone box to rip out your brains.
Good answer.
Aye, up your bone box and rip out your brains.
The eyes of this corpse are set close together, blah, 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 blah. Pretty sure I've read all that, so. The spirit blasts back into the body with such violence that, with a single great muscular contraction, the corpse is hurtled backwards. The body is on its feet again in an instant, dancing and thrashing about madly, waving its arms and popping its stitches. Flaps of loosened flesh flopping about as it prances to and fro, eyes goggling and rolling about in its head, giggling madly all the while. I have a question for you, spirit. The possessed corpse sings as it leaps and whirls about, the volume of its and pitch of its voice rising and falling in random patterns. You are the spirit, I the living. Answer my questions, you shall. Your confused expression seems to please it. It hooks its bony fingers into its mouth and pulls it into a ghastly grin, laughing maniacally and wagging its pasty white tongue. Very well, ask your questions. Spirit seems to become calm for a moment after exploding into a steam of mind-numbingly loud, babbled nonsense. The cacophony is almost maddening. It threatens to drive you to your knees. And as abruptly as it begins, it stops. The corpse stands there, twitching quietly. I didn't quite catch that. Can you repeat it for me? Okay, it does the same thing. Will it get annoyed if I keep asking it to do the exact same thing? I do not understand. I have a question for you, however. Again the spirit sings, Question of the living, shall the dead answer thee? So it was, so it shall... So it is so... so it was... Is it so? Shall so it be? You, my answer, will questions. The look on your face seems to please it wildly. It begins to cavort so madly that you wonder if the corpse can take the abuse. You can almost hear its bones creak and fracture, tendons snapping as it spins and hurls itself about. Question for you. I do not understand you. Farewell. As the spirit fades away from the corpse, its jabbering mouth twists into a knowing smile. Its wide, wild, flashing eyes bore into you with the piercing glare of a psychopath, and it whispers a single carefully formed word, drawn out like a string of precious pearls. Limbo. What? And with that, it is gone, leaving you no better off, and feeling slightly unsettled. The zombie quietly resumes its work. Okay, nope. Nothing else. Can we talk to you about anything, IVN? Nope. Alright, Mr. Zombie Worker. Okay, nope. Okay, use stories bone tell. Nope. How about you? Nope. Don't you at me. The corpse shudders for a moment, then stills, its spirit flowing back into its abandoned mortal shell once more. Within seconds, a semblance of life seems to spring into the zombie's eyes, and it begins to gaze about with a look of curious puzzlement upon its face. The entire body seems surrounded by a soft golden aura. I would ask you a question. The spirit suddenly seems to take notice of you. He flashes a disarmingly friendly grin, popping all the stitches around its mouth loose with the sudden movement. Momentarily surprised, he touches his hand to his lips, shrugs, and nods an informal greeting. Where am I? Such an odd place. Do I know you? He coughs gently, rubbing his stiffened throat. Your remains, at least, are in a mortuary. He mulls it over for a moment, then laughs. Yes, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Now, do I know you? He cocks his head to one side, peering at you intently. He seems to regard discerning your identity as some sort of amusing game. No, I doubt you know me. Now, I had a question for you. Spirit shrugs and smiles softly. Perhaps you're right. What is it you wish to ask of me? He begins absent-mindedly pulling the remaining stitches from his lips and dropping them to the floor one by one. Who are you? My name was Asanji. Might I know yours? I do not know. He looks surprised. How odd, a shame, truly. I must have something to call you, no? Spirit looks at you expectantly. Make a name up. I do not know. Adon? The Spirit, sensing your frustration, laughs good-heartedly. Poor sod, then Adon it is, friend. Now, did you have a question for me? Yes, I did. Certainly, ask away. He smiles pleasantly, waiting for your query with interest. Last of the stitches is now gone. His grin is not quite so eerie to look upon. Where are you from? I am from many places. In truth, my birthplace is unknown to me. I did a good deal of traveling in my life, and called many places home. Now all Arborea is mine to explore. The Spirit seems well pleased. I see. I had another question. How did you end up here? As a zombie, I mean. The Spirit's smile fades away and looks troubled for a moment. Strange, I don't know. I'm not sure how I died, really. He shrugs. No matter. His cheery grin returns, somehow bright despite being plastered across a corpse's withered face. All right. Where are you? Where your spirit resides now? Arborea, a more wondrous place I could not ask for. Nowhere in my mortal life did I find a place of such great passion and such splendor. He pauses for a while, lost in pleasant recollection. The beauty of the land, the people, magnificent. I tell you truly, I miss it even now. Well, I'll see if I can get you back there shortly, sir. Another question? What do you know of this place? Not so much. I signed a contract with a dustman on a whim. She had pointed out the dreadful place to me once, told me my corpse would be raised and used as a laborer. I want to go off on a tangent here. I really hate the use of raised, because that means raised dead. Use animate. You know, told me my corpse would be animated. I thought, I'll have no need for it when I'm passed on to the next life. Why not? Might as well take the silver and go spend it on some women and wine. Silver? What are you talking about, silver? We use coppers here, sir. He chuckles at the idea, the ghost lights in his eyes flashing merrily. Do you know anything of the city around the mortuary? What, Sigil? Seeing your nod, the corpse's smile stretches into a wide, wicked grin. Oh, I'll not spoil that for you. Go and explore the place for yourself. Get lost in the streets, its taverns, its people. But take care. It can be a dangerous as well as wondrous place. But that's what makes it all so exciting, no? I suppose so. Yep, same thing. Alright. Alright, that's about it. I had some questions for you, doll. Looking to see if there's anything that I can find about,
Updated my journal.
Oh. I speak of the wounds of the mind. You've forgotten much, have you not? Mayhap your true wounds run much deeper than the scars that decorate your surface. But that is something that only you would know for certain. Okay, that's... sound ill. Who else is here? Okay. Nothing about that one zombie. Not actually mean to click on something in there. I meant to click on to move in there. Alright, so let's look to see if we can find another zombie. Of course, I killed a lot of the early ones. So there may not be. There's one. Okay, and of course I killed all the skeletons as well, so can't talk to them.
I'm gone.
I should say that I destroyed all of them. Alright. Let's look around for any more. There's one. The odors of fuming sulfur, cooked hair, and scorched blood assault your senses as the spirit returns to its one-time home. The corpse collapses to the floor almost immediately, shuddering violently as it clutches itself and moans pitifully. You can almost see thin plumes of stinking smoke curling off its body and limbs. Are you alright? The spirit opens one eye, the orb's whiteness stark against the gray, puckered flesh that surrounds it. It slowly turns its head so as to peer up at you. The blasted and scarified flesh of its face, scarified? Is that a real word? And neck pulling taut over the bone. It finally croaks from its ruined throat. No, I ain't, you pike and addle cove. Is there something I can do to aid you? The spirit begins to laugh, but stops abruptly, spasms wildly, and vomits up a stream of embalming fluid and black putrescence. Racked with pain, the spirit begins to hack and cough, occasionally pausing to spit yellowish fluid and loose stitches from between its ruined lips. Let's wait for it to end. The spirit's horrible coughing finally settles down. No, Burke, you can't. Unless you're gonna dance on into Bator and rescue me. I've hit the blinds. Time for my penance. The spirit closes its eye and rests its head back on the floor. I see, I had another question. What could you possibly want from me now, Burke? The spirit still occasionally writhes about, patting itself as if trying to extinguish various small fires on its body. Who are you? None of your business. Leaves me be. No, I had another question. Where are you from? For the love of the powers, who cares? From Sigil, you piker. I had another question. How did you end up here? As a zombie, I mean. How do you takes, clueless? The spirit's outburst sends him into a short fit of jerking, painful coughs. I signed to meet away for a bit of jink, pike of dusters. And right then, can you believes it, some balmy wizard decides to blast a hive to flamin' oblivion with me stuck right in the middle. The spirit mumbles evilly for a bit, steaming fluid bubbling out from the corners of its jagged slit of a mouth. A wizard burned down the hive? Yeah, the hive, the worstest part of Sigil. I never seen so much fire in all's me life. I ran this way and that trying to get away, but everything was burning, was just bursting into flame. Buildings, streets, folks and their kids, and that trice-blasted wizard just laughing all the time. I turned a corner and thought I got away for a bit. But the next thing I knew, my piking head's on fire. Pretty much went downhills from there. The spirit's opened eye shines with malevolent light. Who was this wizard? Dunno, it was pretty well and cooked before anyone stopped him. If anyone ever did, I think I remember some people chasing after him at the start of it all, shouting his name. Ignis, I'm thinking it was. Ignis, or something like that. I sure hopes that piker's in a worse hole than me. I see. I had some questions for you. Where your spirit resides now? Where do you think? You leather-headed basher? Bator in the stinking dunghole they call Phlegathos. Burn, burn, burn. That's all they do. I burned to death in life, and now I was burning in death. Ah! The corpse gnashes its teeth in fury. The irony's just sickening. When I gets out of here, I was gonna toss so many sods into this damn hole. Why would you wish to inflict your fate upon others? Revenge, you addle cove. I's gonna get them all those that crossed me, especially that wizard. I's gonna tear off his wee bits and shoves 'em down his throat. Then I'll throw 'em in this stinking hole, wee bits and all. Him and a few more, for good measure, too. You are a vicious, petty little man. Your fate seems well deserved. The spirit makes a wet, snarling noise, its cracked, blackened lips pulling away from crooked yellow teeth. Just you waits till I gets out of this pit. I'm coming for you first, Burke. You do that. I'm not one to fear the likes of you. Spirit manages a weak guttural growl and spits at you. The foul stuff lands several inches short of your feet. Exhausted, the thing slumps back to the floor, and life begins to fade from the corpse once more. The skin of this female corpse is heavily tattooed with intricate patterns. Nope, stay away from me. You know, of course, that guy could eventually become an actual beta zoo. And then he could come after us. Let's see. Use stories, bone tell. Nothing. Alright. Anything over here? Let's go talk to you. For a moment, you'd think this corpse is simply too far gone to reply, but suddenly you recognize true misery etched into its features, and feel behind it a sense of despair so profound that the spirit must have returned to its shell of old. I would ask you a question. It speaks in a slow monotone, the voice of one broken and without hope. Even now, it is nearly indistinguishable from a soulless zombie. What would you know, my lord? Well, who are you? Spirit speaks so softly that you must strain to hear it. The corpse's mouth barely moves from each word. To form each word. I am no one, my lord, a wretched insect clinging desperately to the wasting tower in Oinos. I was once called Arabheim, though, my lord, so very long ago. The wasting tower? Yes, my lord. 'Tis a mighty tower far greater than the highest of sigils. It is the appearance of bone, my lord. Like the spinal column of some gargantuan creature, it is there that I toil, repairing the damage done to it by the armies of my master's foes, his rival princes. Who is this master? Oh my god, it's Torgo! I know him only as the master, my lord, the lord of Kinoin. He is a fiendish prince, an ultraloth of awesome power. It is he who owns my soul, and so shall forever own it, a petty thing doomed to languish beneath his foot until eternity grinds its way into oblivion. Well, you know, you might get lucky, and Anthraxis will retake his position as the Oinoloth. Tell me of this Kinoin. Yes, me lord, 'tis a mighty tower far greater. Okay, that's the same thing. Who's this master? I had another question. Oinos? The spirit closes his eyes for a moment, the corpse shuddering slightly. The horrid Oinos, my lord, in the grey waste. It is there that my soul has been confined in the shadow of Kinoin, the wasting tower. Tell me more of this Oinos. There's little to say, my lord. 'Tis the land of my master, the lord of Kinoin, full of anguish and disease, a rot which decays both body and spirit. It is a place of utter hopelessness. I had another question. Well, see, you shouldn't have been lawful evil. I mean, not lawful evil, neutral evil. It's your fault. It's your own fault. Where are you from? I lived in Sigil, my lord, in the Hive. 'Twas not so awful a place as I once thought, now that my home is Oinos. Corpse blinks so slowly that for a moment you think he had simply shut its eyes. The Hive? Yes, me lord, a wretched place, but not so dreadful as Oinos. How did you end up here? As a zombie, I mean. I was murdered, my lord, by robbers. Filled with drink and stumbling through the alleyways of the Hive, I became lost and eventually fell prey to a band of thugs. 'Tis just as well. My life was probably worth less than the few coppers a collector may have gotten for my corpse. Why such a base opinion of your own life? I would not speak of it, my lord. 'Tis not worth discussing. The spirit seems immovable in this matter. Alright. Collector? Yes, my lord, a collector. Those who gather the dead of Sigil and haul them to the mortuary where we stand now for a petty fee. The spirit takes a moment to look at his surroundings, then sighs softly. What do you know of this mortuary? Very little, my lord. Only that the dead are brought here to be interred or cremated, or used as laborers as my corpse has been. I see. Where are you, where your spirit resides now? Okay, that's the same thing. Why are you wrought with such despair? There's nothing else for me, my lord. Trapped for eternity in the pestilent waste of Oinos I am. There's no hope for one such as I. The spirit seems to descend into an even more pathetic state, the corpse's shoulders sagging beneath the weight of its sorrows. I see. What do you know of this place? Very little, my lord, only that the dead are brought here to be interred or cremated or used as laborers, as my corpse has been. Okay, there's nothing more I wish to know. Farewell. You do not realize the spirit has left its corpse until, with shuffling steps, the zombie returns to its labors. Alright, when we return, we'll see if there are any other zombies that we can talk to, and I may check up in between episodes where I can get the name of that 331 guy. See you next time, everyone.